this class?
All
Why are
right.
you in it? Why are
Should
you
I
in class
start
at
by
10 p.m.?
stating our names? My
Yeah.
name is Brody Sigmund.
Is that a recording?
Yeah. My name is Eric.
Nice. Okay. And then I'm Elizabeth Vargas. Cool. So this is our unit
Sorry.
3
Three.
discussion.
Yeah.
So we are talking about the article and then the either 3 of the videos that we had.
So the article was the Class in America by Gregory, I think it's Mancios.
Mhm.
And I felt like the overall main topic of it talked about class in America and how Americans don't like to recognize classes and the distinctions between them. One of the main topics it brought up was how big of a gap there was between the top 1% in America in terms of wealth and in the 99%. And it brought up some like big stats on it, and it said that the top 1% hold 36% of the Americans, like of the national wealth.
Yeah.
And it said the top 20% richest Americans hold 90% of the national wealth. And that another stat it brought up was how one out of every 7 Americans live below the poverty line, which is about $11,139 a year for an individual, or $22,314 a year for a family of 4. And then just talked about how big that gap was in terms of wealth.
Which is just kind of insane if you think about it too. Like the 1 in 7, like the poverty line is 11,000, which is just like super low. Like that's just not what I would like classify as like even really getting by. Like that would be super hard to get by. And then like just having like 1% like have like just so much of like how much money they have is like ridiculous too.
Let's see.
And then it talked about like the just like discuss like the main topics of like the article too, and like some of the main concepts, which was like gentrification and neoliberalism.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then gentrification is just pretty much like how like higher class people move into lower class neighborhoods
Yeah.
and like make them better. But then like there's also negative sides other than just like progressing like the neighborhood, because then people that are like in the poverty line like aren't able to pay for like their housing and stuff.
Yeah. And another thing that was brought up, especially in the one of the episodes, the protest tacos from Gentfield, I believe how you pronounce it. There was the one girl who held the protest. That's a good example of gentrification, because she felt like it was changing the character of the neighborhood, or changing the culture, I guess, of the neighborhood, and that was one of the reasons they were protesting.
Yeah, and like worried that it would ruin like their business.
Yeah. She was calling them sellouts just because they're basically selling out the character of the neighborhood just to make more profits to the like, I guess, wealthier food truck or food tour group.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, that was a way to tie it in. Another term that was brought up in the article was neoliberalism, which was basically like associated with the ideas of like a free market capitalism is what I got out of it.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, and that term came around in the 1980s and it's still kind of going on today, is what the article was saying. But yeah,
Eric, do you have anything to add about the article?
Um, just about, I think this article is like discussing the class differentiation, right? Just the social class. And in the article, he put a myth and a reality in the article, and he jumped into the essay that American doesn't like to talk about the social class, like in the society. And some people have even said that they dislike using the word class or upper class due to a reason, and that they believe they will like make them feel like they think like it will cause them like no responsibility for them.
mhm,
I don't know. Sorry.
No, you're doing good.
good.
Uh,
Another point about neoliberalism is how it's like where the government basically stays out of business. And one of the cons, I guess, of it, or pros, I guess, is that it doesn't, or no, one of the cons is that it doesn't help the lower class. The cons is that it helps, I guess, look at how you want, but it helps the upper class. Which kind of ties back into how the 1% have such a huge gap with the free market.
And they like get an advantage because of it too.
Yeah, the government stays out of and like regulating all the business, then it allows these super wealthy people to get even more wealthy, and it's why the wealth gap is increasing year after year.
Yeah.
Do you guys want to move on and talk about one of the videos,
Yeah.
or do you have something else to add, or about the article?
We could talk about the Parks and Rec episode.
Yeah, that would be good.
Okay.
which one?
The Parks and Rec Eagleton.
Oh, Eagleton.
Yeah. And that one pretty much just like talks about how they're trying to put in like a park, and there's like two different sides of like pretty much like the city that they're in. And there's like this really upper class like part, which is Eagleton, and then Pawnee, which is like the more like lower class. There's like a fence dividing them, which just like kind of just like blatantly states the separation, but like usually there's just not that.
Almost like a territory line between the rich and the poor.
Yeah.
Like to keep it, it was built by the Eagletons to basically keep the poor kids of Pawnee out of their nice park, I guess, and keep it nice. Or I thought is what I got of it.
Yeah, and then when they like go over to Eagleton, it's just like insanely rich, like, and just kind of like states the obvious kind of. But yeah, no, 'cause- yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say we could tie that into the gentrification and neoliberalism.
Mhm.
When you guys want to start with the gentrification, we can kind of try and tie that into the episode.
Yeah. So gentrification, like just recapping, is like moving like upper class like things or people to a lower class like system or area. And when they're trying to put in a new park, they're like trying to make like this really nice park, but yeah, like dang, I'm trying to figure out how to describe this. All right, can you help? Because they have like they have to pass it because there's like this divide and they're trying to like come together to build it. But with the upper class system, it kind of goes also into like the neoliberalism and how like since they don't really have anything regulating them because it's like such like a higher class system that they like have kind of this upper hand. And so it's like affecting how they're like making and putting together like a new park.
Yeah, that makes sense. I feel like gentrification was a little bit more easily tied into the protest tacos episode.
Yeah.
A little more obviously, just because they were. I believe they even brought up the term in the episode, talking about how they don't want to change the culture of the town, and by bringing like by basically being sellouts and like doing whatever they can to bring up more upper class people.
Or
into-
more profit in.
Yeah, but the so for the Parks and Recs episode, you could tie that into neoliberalism a little bit, just because it's, it kind of neoliberalism pushes for more of a free market economy, which is kind of what's going on with between the Pawnee and Eagleton sides. Because of the free market economy, Eagleton has the right to throw up that fence on their property and basically push off all the Pawnee side people. They also talked about how to get up to, like, for kids just to even go on the playground, they have to have like an ID showing they're from Eagleton or something
Yeah.
crazy like that with security for a kid's park, which seems kind of wild.
Yeah.
Um,
Eric, you got anything to add on that part? If not, that's okay.
but yeah, it's just like it's kind of similar to how like there's the 1% versus the 99% in terms of wealth. There's like how the neoliberalism helps keep that separated. It also keeps the Pawnee and Eagletons separated in a way. That's the way of looking at it. Let's see. I think we tied into one more episode, or do you think we've got it covered pretty well? Or Eric, do you have anything to, maybe relate it to like real life circumstances, either gentrification or neoliberalism or anything like that? Or are we all good? Elizabeth?
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I was just kind of thinking like how it relates to like real life. And the one thing that just kind of popped up was like the gentrification and just like thinking of big cities, especially in like Michigan. I guess there's like Detroit, which is like a really big thing, or like even like downtown Lansing, like it's starting to like start up like all of these like kind of hipster areas and like these really like cool places that like a lot of young people are moving to, but then it's like also pushing out and like affecting like the people that have like been living there for so long, and like they just can't like pay them for like these things, or like also then the people moving in that are like bringing this stuff like don't know any background about like the city or anything too. So I think that's just like really affects like the thing as a whole, and like kind of like does change like the area of like the people that have been there like the whole time. So like the tacos episode, like, and being worried about like changing like their area and like not being true to it. Like I feel like that's how Detroit kind of is becoming and stuff, and like people are like forgetting about like what the city like actually is.
Yeah. And an example, like even in the Parks and Rec episode where they threw up the fence, that's like that happens all over the place. Like you mentioned in Detroit, there's obviously super nice areas and not as nice areas in Detroit. And those super nice areas usually have like gated, they're gated and you have to go through a security or have like a certain type of pass, similar to how the kids needed a pass to go in the park. People need passes to go in their neighborhoods, like, so they don't let just anybody in. And it's another symbol of how like the high upper 1% class just are separating their whole lives from what's going on with the majority of people in the world, I guess.
Yeah.
That's really all I have to add about personal stuff to that, I guess.
Yeah, I guess I don't really know how to like fix it then, like
Mhm.
looking at it, because it's just like so like what do you do with it? I think it's just kind of like educating people
Yeah,
then
it's
on
a
like
big, yeah, educating, that's a good point. It's such a big issue. It's hard to come up with just one way to tackle it.
yeah, because I don't think it like gets fixed like overnight. Because then like the Pawnee episode, it's just like, oh, we're gonna fix it and we're gonna like have this park and stuff, and
Yeah.
like it's kind of
Mhm.
resolved really quickly. But I just also don't think that like it gets resolved like that quickly at all. And
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like a lot more like little pieces that need to like be sorted out and stuff.
For sure. Definitely the best way of, I guess, attacking it and how to fix it and maybe, close the gap would definitely be just educating people in general and maybe public policies in the state or federal government, maybe
Yeah.
regulating. I don't know too much about government policies or anything like that, but
No, yeah, I have a social work policy class right now, and this is like all the stuff we're learning about. So
Yeah.
it's like all correlating a lot, and I'm just like, oh, okay,
yeah.
sweet. Got anything else to add?
Um, not that I can think of. I think we're-
Cool. Eric, you got anything else to add?
Is it about the show?
Yeah, about the show or life
Anything, I guess.
life in general. No, you don't think-
If about the article, I can say something.
okay.
What?
Do you want to? Did you say that you wanted to say something else? Or are you good?
Say something about show or the article. I think
Either.
Or
I think I can say something about the article.
Okay.
So, so what's it? Man, what is the art? How to pronounce his name? Mancios.
yeah.
So he writes that most people not aware their action to avoid this subject, the social classes, and I think this may be because of the fact that social class identity has been stripped from popular culture. Oh my God, what did I say? Oh no, nothing. So, he discussed very rich and very poor people and how each affect each other, and so then the middle classes don't have any chance to grow up or become successful because all the richer layer, when the rich people take all the resources and getting more richer, I think. And racism and sexism, the gender, like boy and girls, is the most significant compound that affect the class in the society. So, oh, sorry.
No,
No,
you're good.
No, that was some good points you threw in there. I don't have anything else to add personally. Nothing I can think of. Do you, Elizabeth?
No, I'm good.
I think we're good.
Nice. Okay, cool. Nice seeing you guys.
Always nice talking to you guys.
Bye.
Yeah.